What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of GG Gaming. I'm going to tell you the date this time. It is October 16th, I believe. I hope I said that right. I am your host and player one, Andrew. With me is my co-host and player two, Alpha Stoutland.
What's up, guys? Alpha Stoutland here.
And we have unlocked a new challenger today. We have a guest. Our player three today is PapaGenos.
Hey guys, it's me, PapaGenos. You may have seen my YouTube videos or something, and I'm here today to talk Smash and whatever else comes up, I guess.
Or as I like to call it, Smash Talk. Oh.
Ah.
So, before we get into Smash, because I know we're going to talk about Smash, and I know beforehand, Papa G was telling me something happened regarding Smash and leaks. So, before we get into that, what have you guys been up to? Who wants to start that?
I'll let our guests go first.
All right. What have you been up to this week, Papa G?
This week, I made some videos.
Or lately.
I started a Discord, which I've used Discord very, very little in my life. I've used it like a few times to basically just talk with some friends who live far away now. But I started like a whole Discord chat channel thing for, to kind of branch off my YouTube channel. So I started that. It's kind of the big thing I did this week. And then I made a couple, videos. Me and my brother sat down. We did some more playthrough stuff of Mario RPG. And then, I've just been keeping up with leaks and stuff and making videos about that.
Nice. I've seen that you guys have uploaded some videos. I've been meaning to check it. I have not checked it out yet. That doesn't mean I don't want to see it. I just not have checked it out yet. And I want to see it. I want to see what you guys do. So I'm excited to take a look at that. You guys are playing... Super Mario RPG, right?
Yep. Yes.
How many episodes do you think you're gonna have of that?
I don't know if we're gonna play the whole game or not, because it's our first game we decided to play, and it's an RPG, so that's like a kind of longer game to start off with, and I want to get some like variation on the channel. Mm-hmm. So we might just play until we get Geno, and then at least take a hiatus from it, do some other games, and maybe come back to it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. And Alpha, how about you? What have you been up to?
Well, before I start with my spiel, Papa, I do want to say, as a fan of yours, it is an honor and a privilege to have you on the podcast with us this week. Thank you for joining us, man.
Oh, definitely.
No, thank you. Thanks. Thank you guys for inviting me on and everything too. It's awesome. It's great. I love doing stuff like this.
I was going to say that, but I didn't know when I was going to say it. But okay. I'm glad you brought it up, because now I can say, yes, I am a fan, and it is an honor to have you on today.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thanks, guys.
Alpha, you want anything new happen this week since we recorded last Tuesday?
Well, so far this week has been obviously Shantae related. Papa, if you're not aware, I've been doing a lot of Shantae Smash speculation, and it has blown up on my channel compared to my other videos. The Shantae fanbase has just received it very well, and apparently, I think it was either Sunday night or Monday night, one of my videos, my latest video, is actually featured on Event Hubs, and I was like, "What the heck? What?
Nice.
What?" So it's crazy to see just how much demand there is for her, and the support that her fans have been giving me and us on the channel here. It's so cool to see. Because besides that, it's just been work and counting inventory for October. So it's just on YouTube, it's been crazy busy and awesome. And then in real life, it's just like, I've been working on some videos and stuff. But besides that, it's been a good week. It's been a couple last weeks, and it's just been a crazy ride. The Smash Ultimate hype train, and it's going to come to a halt soon. But I'm enjoying it while it lasts.
I hope it doesn't.
Yeah.
I like the speculation season a lot too.
Yeah, and especially, I'm sure we'll get DLC. So I'm sure there's gonna be that hype train is gonna go for a little bit longer. I just don't.
Yeah,
know
I'm honestly I'm like half afraid we're gonna get like DLC for like Sakurai will announce DLC for like years to come or something, and part of me will be super hyped, and the other part of me will be like, speculation season is never going to end.
I know, right?
But that's part of the hype.
The rest of my life.
Yeah.
But all that constant hype with no break might kill me.
Exactly.
Well, for me, not much has been going on. I actually had a cold for the past week, and it's finally going away, but part of the reason we got to recording late was because I had to run to the doctor and found out I had an ear infection. Yay! So I had to go pick up medication for that, and hopefully that goes away soon. And I learned that you're not supposed to put Q-tips in your ears. Did you know that?
I did, but I do
I
sometimes.
was not aware.
No, when I went to the doctor, I got an ear infection from the cold I had, but she said to me, she's like, you use Q-tips? Or, like, you put Q-tips in your ears? I was like, yeah. She's like, don't. I was like, well, really? She's like, yeah, you're supposed to have wax in your ears, and you have no wax in your ears. I was like, oh, okay. I guess, yeah, apparently you're supposed to use it on the outside of your ears, not on the inside, but I didn't know that.
Well, if we're talking, like non-Smash, non-YouTube online stuff that happened to us this week, I had a filling fall out, and I had to.
Ouch.
Oh, it was awful. I had to run to the dentist, like, emergency. So, like, it fell out, and it wasn't that bad. And then I was, like, sitting with it, and I was like, I got a cleaning this month. I'll just wait till that. No big deal. And then, like, within an hour, all of a sudden, you ever, like, bite into ice cream and get that, like,
yes,
cold feeling? Yeah,
yes.
it just all of a sudden felt like that, and it wouldn't go away. And I was like, well, I got to get this fixed. So, luckily, yeah, they fixed it up. It feels fine now.
Oh, yeah. We totally understand you taking longer for that. Stuff like that. Yeah. Absolutely. And glad it's feeling better now.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad, the ear infection is you got medication for that or whatever, too.
Oh, yeah. I hate ear infections. I'm on a strong antibiotic, so I know it's going to mess up my stomach. Ugh. But, so I guess if that covers what we've been up to, there has been a couple of things in the gaming news, and the one thing that comes to my mind is that in Pokemon Go, they finally released the first wave of Gen 4, and I know, Papa G, you play Pokemon Go as well.
I did. I was not even aware that I saw they were going to release Gen 4. I was not aware it even happened. I actually haven't played in only the last like couple of days, though, so this must be really recent.
Yeah, like today.
Oh, okay. I totally missed it then.
Yeah, I caught a Bidoof and the Chimchar. So,
okay.
Nice.
I think it only goes up to, like, the first, not too many Pokemon. There is, obviously, 3 starters and their evolutions, and then I believe there was Bidoof and Bibarel, or Bibarel, or Bibarel.
Bibarel, yeah.
Bibarel. Or
yeah,
whatever.
I'm actually going to Boston to visit some friends this weekend, and we plan on, I think it's like Community Day on Sunday. I think we're going to run around Boston catching Pokemon, so that's the next time I'm probably going to be hopping into Pokemon Go hardcore.
Nice. And I think there's already new regionals, and I don't know the exact locations because I read it before, and I'm just trying to pull it up real fast while we're talking and procrastinating or just trying to fill time while I look it up. Okay, so it looks like we have Turtwig. Now, I'm a stickler for pronunciations, but even I mess these up sometimes. We have Turtwig, Grotle, or Grottle. No, it's got to be Grottle.
Grottle,
like Grotto. So Turtwig,
Yeah, I would assume that.
Grottle, and Torterra. We have Chimchar, Monferno, and Infernape. Piplup,
I love
Prinplup,
Infernape.
and Empoleon. Starly, Staravia, and Staraptor. Bidoof and Bibarel? Bibarel?
Bibarel, either or.
It's who knows.
We have Bidoof and Big Bidoof. We have Kricketot and Cricketoon, Bunnery and Lopunny, which it is not Lopunny. I know it's Lopunny, and I'm proud to know that. We have Chatot as a possible new regional exclusive.
Hey!
I think that's in the southern hemisphere.
Okay.
And Carnivine, possible new gen, is in, what was it? So I think it was like southern something. South United
America?
States? No, it was like the southern United States or something like that. I'm just trying to...
Down here in North Carolina?
You know what? I have left this tab open on my phone with these answers, so...
To the phone!
To the phone. Here we go. Found it. But this one I have different ones on here. Why? The following Pokemon have been confirmed as the first wave. Yeah, Turtwig, Grottle, Torterra, Chimchar, Monferno, Infernape, Piplup, Primplup, Empoleon, Starly, Staravia, Staraptor, Bidoof, Big Bidoof, Kricketot, Kricketune, Shinx, and Luxio, and Luxray. I didn't see them on this list, but now they're... people must have... Okay, I think this list was updated. People must have found them. Pachirisu, Baniri, Lopunny, Chatot, Riolu, Lucario, Carnivine.
Ooh.
Now, these are apparently all the ones that have been confirmed as a first wave. I remember reading on Cerebi that Riolu was confirmed to have come from 10-kilometer eggs, I think. And I believe it was Pachirisu who was exclusive to Canada. I remember reading earlier today. Chatot is, I think, the southern hemisphere, and Carnivine was, I believe, like the southern United States or something. Now, I could be wrong. I'm just trying to remember. Because I think it was on this page, and I think this page got updated, and I don't see it on here. So maybe that changed. I'm not exactly sure. It seems the evolutions from the Mons from Gen 1 and 2 that got their third evolutions are not yet available. And I know I didn't see evolutions available yet for some of them as well. I know that despite the trailer showing Glaceon and Leafeon, I don't believe there's any confirmation of them being available yet. Or if there are, nobody reported it yet.
Maybe they're like, it's got to be winter or summer, and since we're in fall, you just, like, they're in, but you can't get them or something.
True,
yeah.
very true.
That's
Actually,
a
well,
theory.
I was going to say, if Leafeon really... Leafeon could make sense for fall. Could.
Yeah, that's
but-
true, actually.
Like a spring... I could see Leafeon for spring, summer, and Glaceon for fall, winter.
That'd be neat.
That would work, yeah.
Although you would think Leafeon would also be fall, so...
Mm-hmm.
But if they wanted to split it up, maybe. I don't know. They could do... Because in the games, they are based on the moss stone thing and the ice stone thing, and not the actual evolution items, but actual environments.
Maybe they put one moss stone somewhere in the world and you have to go find it.
Oh, no. Well, what I'm wondering is...
Amazon and Antarctica.
Yeah,
So
perfect.
what I'm wondering
Choose wisely.
is if they might have something to do with the environment. So if it's snowing out, maybe you have to do something to evolve Eevee into Glaceon. And,
that'd be cool
rad.
with the
and
weather.
I don't know what they would do for Leafeon. Maybe like a sunny day or something.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Now, part of the thing is, the Pokemon games have always tried, like the main games have always tried to make the evolutions something that won't. I'm trying to figure out how to explain this. Like, for example, if somebody used a leaf stone on Eevee in Gen 1, it did nothing. So they don't want to... They're known for not wanting to backtrack on that because it would make sense in the first couple of games to use the leaf stone and then it still doesn't do anything. But then why would it do something later on? So I'm wondering if Niantic would want to do something like that where they'd say, oh, Eevee never evolved into Glaceon during a snowstorm before, so it shouldn't in the future. So I'm curious to see how they're going to handle that, pretty much.
Yeah, Niantic has been oddly strict about keeping things a lot like the games, like with weird rules like that.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of things that I thought they'd break away from, they have actually kept intact, even when it doesn't make that much sense.
Mm-hmm.
So, a lot of things I've actually kind of been hoping the Pokemon games would retcon, and like you said, they're very against retconning stuff for whatever reason, even things that I think everybody is kind of just waiting for them to retcon, and they just won't do it.
Yeah. Now I'm wondering. Well, actually, now I'm wondering what I was going to say. I had something I was thinking, and I completely forgot what I was going to say. Oh well. There goes that. But do you have a favorite evolution?
Vaporeon.
Vaporeon? How about you?
It is, for me, it's a tie between Vaporeon and Leafeon. I love them. Like, my least favorite's Flareon, and I hate that because fire is my favorite type, but it's just so meh. Umbreon is awesome. Like, they're all awesome, but Vaporeon and Leafeon, if I had to pick, I would say Leafeon. I just love that thing's design. I love it.
I have to say Umbreon.
Umbreon is sick.
So cool.
Umbreon is so cool.
I remember,
and it's shiny is beautiful.
It is.
Yeah.
I remember what I was going to say.
Oh, it's so cool.
I was gonna say how Niantic does seem to be doing something similar, at least, to what the games did, because Umbreon and Espeon were times of the day as well as happiness, and so they kind of emulated the happiness by walking with it as your buddy. So,
Right.
so I suppose you could say they're similar, but they're obviously not the same thing because there's no happiness in Pokemon Go, or at least not yet.
Right.
And while we're on the subject, while we're on the subject of Pokemon Go, before we move on, was there anything either of you would like to see? I know Alpha, you kind of haven't been playing it. So for you, is there anything that you would like to see to bring you back into the game, perhaps?
The reason I uninstalled it to start with was I live in a rural area and I don't really have access to it unless I go sit in my church's parking lot. But besides that, I uninstalled it because I didn't have room on my phone either.
Mm-hmm.
And I kept updating it and it just kept saying you don't have enough data. And I was like, well, shoot. So I just uninstalled it. But I would love to reinstall it now, especially with the advent of shiny Pokemon. And now I'm 3 gens behind now.
Yeah.
So
you have a lot to catch up.
Yeah, I do. I missed all the event legendaries and all that, and I hate that. But the one thing I would say that would probably make me get back into it is if maybe they had better connections and better access for people like me who live pretty much in the boondocks and the backwoods. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I know that's not really the target audience. It's kind of like with Wi-Fi and cable companies and stuff. They don't really focus on people like that. But I mean, I don't live out in the boondocks in the sticks or nothing. But I mean, my road is dead. Literally, there's nothing. And as soon as I turn into my church's parking lot, it's boom, 10 Pokemon. So it just stuff like that. I feel like just being able to play it more and having a better phone to update it with. I want to get a new phone anyway, but I feel like that's the only thing that really is holding me back is my crappish phone. And just my crappish location in regards to Pokemon Go. So I might get it again when I get a new phone, but for now, I'm going to have to skip it.
Okay. And how about you, Papa G? Anything that you want to see? I mean, not necessarily to bring you back in because, like you said, you still play it, but is there anything that, you just like to see them add to the game?
It's tough to say, I always kind of looked at Pokemon Go as a little bit of, I think a lot of people saw it like this, kind of a missed opportunity. Mm-hmm. And I still appreciate it for what it is. But my biggest issues with it, I guess, is that I live in a semi-rural area as well. I have to, my house doesn't get good Pokemon and I have no Pokestop and, I have to travel to play. I was playing a lot when I was working at a store in my local mall, and I had a Pokestop right on the store, so I could do that all day long while I was working. But I no longer have that. Yeah. So what would actually pull me back in? Maybe if they added battling. I was hoping trading would pull me back in, but the way that they added trading with having to use Stardust and having to build up friendship with someone over a it's just grinding again.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Why didn't they just make it just trading? Because it's I don't really want to trade with the people I know really well. I want to meet someone on the street and be like, oh, cool, you have something rare? Let's trade,
Yeah.
And they made that difficult. And so the only thing I could really say is maybe if they added a battle system, but I wanted all that stuff right from the get-go, and they kind of promised it in the trailer for the game. And I remember that first month or two was incredible. I would go out and I saw people from high school I haven't seen in years playing Pokemon Go. I'd see 40, 50 people running around playing. It was that social aspect was so awesome. It was better than the game itself, was just being out in the world, playing Pokemon for real. Mm-hmm. And then it just it died off because people just got disinterested in it. And it took Niantic so long to implement trading and just some really basic stuff people were waiting for, that I almost feel like my favorite part of the game, the social aspect, is almost gone, except between me and some very close friends who still play. So I don't know if there's anything they could do to get that magic back. Trading I thought might do it, didn't really do it. So maybe battling. I guess that's my take on Pokemon Go.
Well, to play
Dang.
off,
Sorry.
to play off of what you said, were saying about the social aspect, I have gotten more into the social part of it thanks to Discord, where I found local Discord communities who
Okay.
go to the different raid battles and stuff. So I think, if Niantic actually did something like that, where maybe they had a forum with some kind of, based on areas, maybe like, say if I'm in New Jersey, so maybe like a New Jersey area thread in the forum, so everybody, like trainers, can meet each other. I think that would be pretty interesting. That wasn't what I was going to suggest. Whoops, I hit this thing. That wasn't what I was going to suggest as something to get people back into it, but I just thought of it as you were saying that. In terms of the trading, I believe they did that with the Stardust in order to avoid people monopolizing on the game by going on eBay and saying, like, hey, I got this Pokemon, I could trade it to you for this amount of money. Yeah, that's pretty much the reason why. But what I would add in is, if you guys are familiar with, obviously, the main game, I think you both are, the bottle caps. I want to see, I want to see raising IVs and maybe hyper training. But yeah, that's pretty much that. And the only other gaming news I could think of off the top of my head, and I don't want to take too much time because not only do we have a special guest, but we all want to talk Smash. But the only other gaming news was Pokemon Let's Go, Pikachu and Eevee. And that is that, what was it? Shoot. It was right on the tip of my tongue. Crap. Oh yeah, the post-game stuff. They have all 151 Pokemon. In the post-game, they have trainers, and I believe they're going to be around the region. And that guess is just based on the screenshot that I saw, but it looks like there's going to be a trainer for every Pokemon, from Bulbasaur all the way up to Mew. And
that's cool.
If you beat one, they're supposed to be difficult. I guess they're supposed to be the best version of that Pokemon. I don't know, but if you beat them, then you unlock a title, like Master Trainer of insert Pokemon name here. So that makes me think. Since they said 151, I wonder if there's a trainer out there with a Mewtwo and a trainer out there with a Mew. And if you beat them,
neat.
if you get the title like Master of Mewtwo or Master of Mew or something like that, that'd be pretty neat. But other than that, I think it's time to dive into the Smash talk.
Yes.
Alrighty.
And before we started recording today, Papa G, you messaged me about some quote-unquote breaking news. And you had done a little bit of researching while I was on my way home from pharmacy and before we met up. So do you want to talk about that? I'm sure you're going to make a video based on that, but I suppose this could be a little bit of preview for that video.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to make a video on it or not, or I mean, if something comes out of it, I'm sure I'll do something. But it's sort of I don't know what to say. It's like a piece of information, but without the actual information. It doesn't make the most sense if I just explain it. So someone came out on, I think it was Reset Era, and I forget the user's name, but they basically said that there is a real leak floating around right now that ruffled Nintendo's feathers. That's the way they put it. And that he's not sure what the leak is that did that, but he knows there's a real one out there right now. It's not the Ken image leak, and he did say it's probably an image leak of some kind, just because that's the sort of thing that might grab Nintendo's attention. I feel like if some random person goes online and says so and so is in Smash, it just gets lost in the shuffle. But what they would probably get their feathers ruffled over would probably be some sort of image of some character. So I was looking through recent image leaks to see if there's anything that maybe could have done that. Inconclusive thus far. I'll keep looking into it. But yeah, that's what it was. And this user also, I guess their credibility here is that supposedly they knew about Cloud before Cloud was known as DLC. So they have some
Really?
credibility. Smashboards was talking about them and saying this. I didn't look into it to make sure that there was proof that they knew about Cloud beforehand, but Smashboards was like, it was going nuts over it, and a lot of the people on there are pretty well educated in Smash speculation and leak history and stuff like that.
Right.
So I'm pretty sure that is indeed the case because a lot of people were saying that. So that's pretty much it. There's a real leak out there right now, most likely an image leak, and we don't know what leak it is, but apparently Nintendo is a little angry about it. So I'm gonna look into that, see if I can figure out which one it is, or if someone can figure out
Cool.
what it is.
I'm
And
really curious.
then I'll make a
Dude,
video on it if
If
we
that
figure
turns
it
out to be true, and he actually had info on Cloud, that's crazy. As tight knit as Square Enix is on their information and stuff, and that they're willing to fire people over that, and it actually got out. That's huge.
Yeah, man.
That's
Wow.
crazy, man.
Yeah, actually, I didn't know anybody knew about Cloud
Me
before.
neither.
Yeah.
But it's possible this guy said it and no one believed him, and then it happened. And a lot of times when that happens, the person who leaked it doesn't get very famous for doing it because we already know about
After
the
the
characters.
fact,
So no one looks at them
yeah.
anymore. Yeah. So, but apparently he knew about Cloud, and I always preface with that I have Geno bias in all things speculation. But if this guy knew about Cloud beforehand, if that's his claim to credibility, then is the character that got out the Square character? Is whatever his insider source or ability to get insider information somehow connected to Square, and is it the Square rep that got out? So
Good
I don't know,
point.
but that's my speculation on it.
Well, now,
Excellent point.
Where'd you hear this? On Twitter or?
It was on Reset Era, but it was Smashboards that was going nuts over it just like an hour ago. That's where I found out about it.
Yeah, I didn't even know about it. I was just like, you said that to me, and I was like, oh my god, I wonder what it is. I gotta know.
Well, if someone does a video on a certain image leak and they start getting taken down by Nintendo, ding, 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 we have a
That would be
winner,
it.
pretty much.
That'd be the one.
Yeah, but, I feel like these companies, like Nintendo included, they would give it away without intending to, but they don't realize that by taking something down, they're giving it away. It's like,
True.
Yeah,
Like,
I feel like part of it too would be like if this image leak had popped up in one spot and Nintendo got rid of it real quick, that'd be one thing.
Mhm.
But if it's an image leak that maybe and again, I don't know if it's an image leak. The guy was speculating it probably was because Nintendo got angry about it, and I just don't think they pay attention to text leaks. But if some image leak got out there and it was in one spot, Nintendo got rid of it quickly, that might not do any damage. But if the image leak spread a little bit, they might either not be able to take it down everywhere, or obviously it's really suspect if they take down like all the YouTube videos that have it in there or something.
Like the ESRB leak and the footage that followed, pretty much.
was that taken down?
I know Game Explain did a lot of videos on it. Was it taken down? I know the dude that leaked that got like his butt chewed out by Nintendo and sued like crazy, and he's pretty much like homeless now.
Really? I
Yeah,
heard something
He
happened to
started guy
him.
in like Brazil, I think.
Good
I
grief.
could be wrong.
What happened with that? Do you guys know?
That's just what I've heard. I just heard they basically ruined his life by suing him half to death. So, I mean,
I heard similar.
I mean, we're
rumors
talking about a
of
game
it,
like
so
Smash.
rumors or not.
That's-
Never really looked into it fully.
Yeah, me neither.
Same, yeah.
And I believe when the ESRB leak first happened, the footage that was going up on YouTube was being taken down.
Mhm.
The footage was. Initially, I don't know if eventually Nintendo just gave up, but because I remember clicking videos to watch it and then re-clicking the same video and the footage being gone, like with that first day when it was like happening.
Now, you cover a lot of leaks. What do you think of a lot of these leaks that you cover?
Like in what way? Like
do you think
how do I feel about people leaking
real?
the game?
Well, a lot of the leaks that you cover or come across in general, and I know you don't like to cover ones that don't really have any credibility, but I'm sure you hear of them. Are there any leaks out there that you're leaning towards being true? Are there any that you're like, no, this can't be real? And I really want to know from you because you cover them. So
yeah, so yeah, I look into a lot of leaks, and a lot of them are totally phony, and it's weird. Like, I like the phony leaks a little bit, especially like if it's like a cool image leak or something. Like, I kind of like them just because it's fun to, you know, basically play pretend and like, oh, what if that character was in Smash or whatever.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, there's like so many fake ones that it gets like frustrating, because then the real ones get lost because so many people fake ones. So that kind of stinks. Obviously, just for like my channel and stuff, I try to only cover ones that I think have a chance of being real, so they have to have some bit of, you know, reason to be real, at least most of the time when I cover stuff. Occasionally I've covered something for fun, like I think there was like a Geno image leak that came out, and I'm a fan of Geno, so I just wanted to talk about it. But generally I cover stuff that have something going for them. And I mean, if there's one that I'm like leaning towards, it's Vergiben. You know, Vergiben's just been really credible all the way through, so I lean towards his leak and the stuff he's said. And then besides him, there's a couple leaks that stood out in my mind, just for whatever reason, that don't necessarily have like, you know, the most credibility like Vergiben, but like there was this one that had like Celica on it from Fire Emblem. I think it was Geno, Simon Belmont, Celica, and Isabelle, I think. And then it said we were gonna. This was like back in July, I think, and it didn't say Isabelle was an Echo fighter. It had Simon Belmont on there, even though Vergiben was already talking about Simon Belmont, but also had Celica and Geno. And then it said we'd get a direct in like mid-August, and that Ashley was an assist trophy. And that was before Vergiben said anything about Isabelle. And we did get a direct in mid-August, and Ashley was an assist trophy. So that one, I mean, it was just a random text leak on 4chan, but that one was so long ago, and it's just survived for so long. It was also before Vergiben said anything about a Square rep, and it has Geno on there. I think it'd be weird to get Celica. Just, I feel like Fire Emblem, you know, people really complained about like Corrin and stuff. But yeah, for whatever reason, that leak has just stood out to me as like, maybe it's something, despite not having like, you know, a ton of credibility behind. I mean, it did guest stuff, but it's guest stuff the same way any other like list of characters kind of has.
Oh yeah.
So.
I don't know. I think that Corrin was very different. I mean, I think that anger came from the fact that it was just a Fire Emblem character in general, but Corrin was very different from everyone else in the Fire Emblem representation.
Playstyle wise, definitely. Yeah.
And now looking back, I do like Corrin for who he and she are, but then it was just like, man, we could have had someone from the bout like King K. Rool or Shovel Knight or somebody like that. And I think that, and of course, I'm still not a big fan of Bayonetta, but those two characters, they were just so underwhelming compared to what we were expecting. But, you know, now that it's like, oh, he's looking at the ballot for this game.
Right.
It kind of it takes the pain away a little bit more. It's like, okay, they were just giving us a little baby pacifier for the big Smash game, this game, with all the ballot picks. So, but yeah, back then it just seemed like such a slap in the face. But now we see he was just like, ha ha ha, gotcha. This game is going to be epic. So,
yeah, I completely agree with all that. I was pretty salty about Corrin and Bayonetta. I was okay with Bayonetta, but I didn't think she won the ballot. And Corrin just felt like, I mean, we only got, what did we get, like 7 DLC characters or something like that, and 2 of them were Fire Emblem characters, which already had a pretty large chunk of the roster, and Corrin was from a game that wasn't even out in the West yet. It was like, I don't know, it did not sit right with me, but in retrospective now, knowing about Smash Ultimate, knowing they were already thinking about Smash Ultimate, you know, probably for the best that they held off and did, because I would have hated if we'd gotten like, oh, we got Inkling in the game, and like, oh, that's awesome. Like, I'd be really pumped at the moment, but maybe they didn't give Inkling the moveset they really wanted to do, because you have to build like the whole game around inking the stage and stuff like that. Yep. And if we'd gotten Inkling as our DLC character, they couldn't have fully done that. And then maybe Sakurai for the next game would have felt like kind of like how he's done with Ganondorf, like where he doesn't want to update him too much because people have gotten used to the character. So if we'd gotten like, let's say instead of Bayonetta and Corrin, we got K. Rool and Inkling, but they weren't fully realized the way they are in Ultimate, you know, it would be great. But again, in retrospective, knowing this game's out now, I'm glad he waited and we're getting these characters done right. Like
That's a really good
It was the right
point.
move in retrospective.
And you think about it, Inkling was big during that time, but as huge as Splatoon is now, it makes Inkling's edition all the more sweeter. And of course,
Totally true.
and same thing with King K. Rool. As big as he was in the ballot, that anticipation of this game now, when he finally got revealed, it was just like, yes, Sakurai is listening. That it wouldn't have been that way back then. It'd been like, oh, cool, he won the ballot. Whoop-de-doo. We're not getting anybody else from that. But like you said, it's just it wouldn't have had the same impact as it does now, especially because we had to wait so long. And like Inkling's moveset is so different from the cast, and it would have been like, oh, cool back then, but now it's just like, whoa, they look just like they do in Splatoon. Same thing with King K. Rool. And so it really gave Sakurai a chance to really put some TLC into the characters and make them like they are from their games. And it's what, Drew and I are hoping for characters like Shantae and Banjo and Kazooie, and for other characters, obviously Geno and all those other characters that we've been speculating for the past 5 months. Obviously I'm excited. I mean, we're all excited.
Yeah, man. I really want Shantae in this game.
I know.
And I'm a little bit upset that all these leaks, like none of them have her playable. So if one of these leaks is true, does that mean that she's not going to be playable? I don't know, man.
The way forward has just been like they hinted so hard. There's so many hard hints towards Shantae, and I don't know if that just means like she's in the game in some form and they're excited about it, because I could see a company being excited, playable or not, they'd be excited that she's in the game. Or it's also possible, like, I just feel like DLC for this game might be such a huge thing. Like, that might be the big announcement here at the end. Like, even if worst case scenario, the box theory is all we get for the base roster, if Sakurai announces in November, like, yeah, there's going to be a DLC character, like, every 2 months for the next 2 years or something like that, and we got a bunch coming, and it's like, oh man, well, and all those hints, like maybe way forward, no, Shantae is down the road, maybe Skull Kid is coming, maybe Geno is coming, all that stuff, like that would be so hype. Like I don't want to. It's all hypothetical, obviously.
Oh yeah, dude, I would lose my mind if after he announced Geno and all that for the base roster, he's like, but wait, guys, we've got some DLC characters coming, and here's the first three, and it was Shantae, Sora, and Banjo and Kazooie. I would lose my freaking mind, dude. I would, dude, can you imagine Etika and all these other dudes flipping out over that? Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
We would all just die. Everybody would just die in the fan base. There'd be no more Smash fan base because it'd just be like, that's it, we're all dead.
I mean, this is Smash Ultimate, and Nintendo's in a point now where like they can do, DLC, like they're kind of comfortable with it at this point. Like, it just feels like now's the time. If we get like, again, it's all hypothetical. I don't want to hype it too much, but I could really honestly see like years of DLC and characters coming to this game being what Nintendo shoots for, and just making Smash like a never-ending thing, basically.
And I've seen people make the great point that Smash came at the end of the Wii U's life cycle last time, and it's coming at the beginning of the Switch's. So the Switch has years and years worth of DLC they can do, whereas, they had to cram everything into Smash 3DS and Wii U while the 3DS and Wii U were still on their last legs. But now that the Switch is like a year or two old, they've got years of success ahead of them that they could cram all the DLC characters in. They could do a ballot and have like characters that were deconfirmed as assist trophies like Waluigi, Shovel Knight, Crystal, Ashley. That would be such a cool... dude.
Put them back in. Why not?
Yeah, it's just like, well, you guys want them. Here you go. It's just... That would be so cool.
You think they would make assist trophies playable in DLC?
I don't know. I don't think they would do like Sheriff or Knuckles and Zero. I think they would do like the characters that were like massive on the ballot and that have continued to stay popular, like Shovel Knight and obviously Waluigi. I feel like if anybody was to break the assist trophy glass ceiling, it would be Waluigi, just because he's the wah. But
yeah, I agree with you about Waluigi. I feel like it's a like squeaky wheel gets the oil or whatever they say. If the fan base is just loud enough about Waluigi, I don't think Sakurai can, like you said, just break that glass ceiling and just say whatever. I made him an assist trophy, but obviously the fans want him. So if if I got room for more DLC characters, why not? I could see it happening. I'm not counting on it. I'm basically considering him deconfirmed. But in the same way that we got Corrin and Bayonetta, and that was it. It's over. We're like, I could see this Smash cycle happening. DLC starts, we're getting characters that are nowhere in the game, and it's like, okay, I guess those assist trophies are deconfirmed. And then, a year from now, it's like, all right, and we're giving you Waluigi. You guys wanted it. We decided we're going to do it. And it's just like, oh, wow, I didn't think that was going to happen,
I feel like that's pretty much what they did with Ridley and K. Rool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I keep seeing these leaks and no Shantae, and I'm just like, oh, God.
It is disheartening, though. And, I keep telling myself, I'm like, Virgin did not leak K. Rool. Virgin did not leak Richter. He did not say Isabel was going to be a different character. Just calm down. So it's just, and every leaker that's credible, they miss stuff. And that's what makes me think Virgin has partial evidence. He has partial information. I don't think he has the whole shebang. I do think Kennen and Cinnamoroar are going to be in, and if a Square Rip gets in, I'm pretty sure that Geno's base and Sora's DLC.
That's what I'm thinking too.
I really do, dude. Sora would make so much money for Disney
that's what
and
I'm thinking.
Nintendo.
Like Geno fits for the hardcore Smash fans, but would he sell that well? I don't know.
I think
whereas
so.
Sora, that prints money. I could see Sora being announced at E3 next year, and it's like, oh, Nintendo won E3, and it's like, yes, all they had one character to Smash. I
don't really see any character not being bought. I mean,
that
people want, or for the most part, they want their roster to be complete. I don't know, maybe that's just me. I have a friend who didn't buy one or two characters, but they kind of jumped into the game late. I don't know. I just think that if you're playing Smash, you're probably going to want all the characters.
Yeah,
There's
and I missed. You go
part
ahead.
of the people who buy Smash. I don't want to throw a percent number out there, but I'd say 80-85% that buy all the characters. If you bought Smash, you're getting all the DLC.
Yeah, they're going to make money off of it, regardless of who they put in.
Yeah.
Even if they put in Minecraft Steve as DLC.
Yeah.
I would still buy it because it's a character.
I missed the opportunity to get everybody in 3DS because I never bought Roy and Cloud, and I'm kicking myself because now they're two of the vets that I'm most excited to play, especially Cloud, dude. I've seen so much gameplay. I'm like, dude, this guy looks so awesome. I want to play him so bad. I played him one time at a friend's house when I used my 3DS as a controller on his Wii U. And I was just like, dude, I'm awful with him. I mean, it was the first time I played him. But, dude, there's just characters that you just latch on to immediately. He was one of them for me. King K. Rool was. I mean, I don't want to buy it now for 3DS when we're about to get Switch. I don't know. I'm excited to play those.
That's where I'm at. I can't even pick up Smash 4 right now.
No.
I just don't want to. I look at it and I'm just like, oh, it's like a, I don't know, this weird beta version. I want to real thing. It's hard. It's hard to even play it.
Well, me and, or I should say Alpha and I, have already discussed our top fives that we want to see. And you had told us earlier you had maybe 15 characters that you wanted in. But do you have a top five?
I can go. I'll go off the top of my head. Don't hold me to this, everyone. But okay. So I'll just go down the top five that come into my head or the ones that I'm thinking of at the moment. And these are top five plausible characters. I'm not gonna go for Toe Jam and Earl and Earthworm Jim, and I like characters like that, but I'm gonna go with the ones that I actually think might get in Smash.
Mm-hmm.
So number one's obviously Geno.
Obviously,
yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Number two, Banjo-Kazooie. I said that in one of my newer videos here. I don't know the order of the next three, but I really like Isaac. I am an Isaac fan. I do like Golden Sun. I'm actually a really huge fan of the Shining Force series, which Camelot made. And so Isaac is a rep for Camelot itself, the company. So I like that about him. And I did want him back in Brawl and stuff. I was a big fan of Golden Sun on the Game Boy Advance and stuff. Skull Kid, I think, is just a really cool character. I think the Zelda series, is way overdue to get a newcomer. It's a huge series, and it just, even when we got a newcomer, it was Toon Link, another Link. Now we're getting Young Link back, but I want them to branch out a bit further. I think Skull Kid's perfect for that. And then my final number five character. Maybe a tough tie between Waddle Dee and Dixie Kong. Okay. And these are less characters that I really want, that I would want to play, and more characters that I think just round out the roster really well. Dixie Kong is like one of the first female Nintendo protagonist characters. It feels way overdue to get her. I feel like she should have been here a long time ago. I know she was like playing for Brawl and stuff.
Which one was
and
that?
then Waddle
Dixie?
Dee, just the Kirby 4, like, Kirby, King Dedede, Meta Knight, Waddle Dee just feels right. So, like, Bandana D is who I'm talking about specifically.
Yeah.
So those are my top 5 or 6 or whatever.
Okay. Well, I mean, what are some other big mentions on your list? Because I know you said you had like 15 people.
Like, who else would be on there besides those ones?
Yeah. Your honorable mentions.
Honorable mentions. Racking my brain here.
Think.
You know who I actually really want? Who's kind of weird. I don't want to sound like too much of a Gen 1er, but there was this one leak that had Gengar in it. It was like
Gengar would be rad.
Yeah, but he's such a cool Pokemon. Like,
Yeah.
like to represent Ghost type Pokemon, and he's pretty popular. Like when you look at Pokemon merchandise, I see a lot of Gengar stuff, and I had this really cool idea. So in Smash Ultimate, you can't move through your opponent anymore. Like you can do that in Smash 4, but when you like run, you actually get stopped by your opponent. And that'd be really cool to have a Ghost Pokemon, and they're like, their gimmick is that they can run through people. They can just go through everyone.
Oh, that would be awesome. And as a big Pokemon man myself, that would be so cool. Gengar would deserve it. Like he's just one of those iconic Gen 1 Pokemon. Like really.
Yeah. I mean, like my favorite Pokemon is Scyther, so I'm not like it's not like Gengar is my favorite Pokemon. I'm being super biased here. I just think he is such a unique Pokemon and Ghost type Pokemon. Like he was the only, his evolution line was the only Ghost type Pokemon in the original game. He's just really iconic. He's on tons of merchandise. I just think it would be cool.
Oh yeah.
Same with Eevee too. Actually, I know Eevee's already in a Pokeball Pokemon, but Eevee's another Pokemon that we were talking about our favorite evolutions, and obviously with the Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee games, huge Pokemon, just to get pushed. And if they made some sort of cool moveset, I don't know how they would do it, but like with evolving somehow, it would be. I just think that'd be a really cool Pokemon to push too.
Do you think that they're going to add that new Pokemon Meltan as an assist or Pokeball Pokemon?
Might be too new for Smash Ultimate.
Yeah.
I don't know when that was developed. I would guess too new. Like sometimes people ask about like Rex and Pyra from Xenoblade 2 and like
Springman
from ARMS. Yeah, and I always just say like they're probably a good chance of getting in as DLC, but I don't think it's base game.
Are there any characters on a lot of these leaks or just in general that people are asking for? Are there any that you're against that you or you just don't want to see?
I wouldn't want to see the Rabbids. I don't know if that's a common one on the leaks, but I'd love to get Rayman in, but
yeah,
that'd be cool.
I really don't want the Rabbids. Maybe as an assist trophy, it'd be okay.
It would be a great assist trophy. That would fit them perfectly. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be fine with them as an assist trophy or a stage hazard or something, but my fear is that like Ubisoft gets a character and instead of Rayman we get the Rabbids. That's probably my
That was an awful impression.
That'd be like a real screw over. That'd be like a middle finger.
Besides like them as characters I don't want, I mean I guess the only other thing is like non-gaming characters like Goku. I am pretty against that. I got nothing against Dragon Ball Z. I love Dragon Ball Z. I think Goku's a great character. And I understand he's been in a ton of like, games over the years. I just think once you open that door, it's like then it's like, oh man, now Darth Vader needs to be in Smash. Now Mickey Mouse needs to be in Smash. It's just like it just never ends, I think, at that point. And then, it's already, I feel like someone like Dixie Kong isn't in Smash yet, and we have all these third-party characters. And it's like we never had any third-party characters. All the great Nintendo characters would definitely be here. So I feel like you open up that fourth party, if that's what you want to call it, non-gaming characters, then you just, then it's just a flood after that. And then it's like, well, do I put Darth Vader in, or do I put, Sora in. Well, it's like, well, Darth Vader's more iconic. Got to get Darth Vader over Sora, and then you're getting Darth Vader over Sora, who's getting in over Dixie Kong, and it's just too far down the line in my opinion.
That would be such a huge rabbit hole.
Yeah, exactly.
A rabbit hole.
Speaking of Goku, and somebody had asked about this because I mentioned it last week I mentioned Mario and Goku being in some kind of animation I saw together. And I believe it was a commercial for maybe Super Nintendo or Famicom, rather. But there was just a bunch of characters from games on the system, including, I remember seeing Buster Bunny from Tiny Toons and just like a bunch of characters in this commercial. And it was like, I think on YouTube, it was under the name of something like Hyundai something commercial. I don't know.
Was it an old commercial?
I think it was. I honestly don't know enough information about it.
Okay.
Let me see.
Was it Japanese or like foreign looking?
Well, definitely it was foreign. I think it was Japanese.
Okay.
Mario and Goku commercial. Hyundai Super Comboy commercial.
Huh.
I think it's Korean. Hyundai Super Comboy Korean commercial. So it's something Korean. I don't know what Comboy is. Is that like Game Boy?
Maybe it's their word for one of the Nintendo systems. Maybe.
Maybe. I really don't know what Comboy is. But that is what they're from. And it's got Goku and Mario in the same scene together. And I saw like Krillin and Buster Bunny. I actually haven't played them. I'm playing it on my phone right now, and there's a bunch of characters I don't know. There's like from, I guess, anime or manga characters that are probably on these games. And I saw who was it? I don't know. Just a bunch of characters. Like Yoshi, Street Fighter, Ninja Turtles. I don't know. Looks crazy.
Cool.
It looks crazy with them all in the same commercial together.
I like crossover mashup stuff. I just think Smash needs to stay gaming. I'm fine with third parties, but I want it to stay gaming. It just has a certain feel to it that way that I like.
I mean, a lot of people argue that there were video games that Dragon Ball Z has been on, and I think what it comes down to is that Smash is characters that were originating from games.
Yeah. I mean, and there are characters that, like GoldenEye 007's hugely influential to the shooter genre. And I know Sakurai even talked about he almost put James Bond in Smash or something way back when.
But yeah, but there's always little exceptions, or that gap or whatever you want to call it keeps widening to allow more people in. In Smash 64, it was exclusively Nintendo characters as well as Melee. And then in Brawl, they opened the doors to some third parties, but those characters were on Nintendo systems. And same with Smash 4 until they revealed Cloud, who I suppose he appeared or cameoed in a couple of recent Nintendo games.
Briefly in some of the DS Kingdom Hearts games and stuff, I think, but
he's still a video game character. But it seemed like Smash has branched out from Nintendo character to character or video game character that has also been on Nintendo to maybe, I want to say, just video game character in general. That is, unless
especially ones that have history.
Yeah, I mean, I see Cloud as more representing Final Fantasy as opposed to representing Final Fantasy VII.
That's how I look at it too. I just always thought that Final Fantasy started on Nintendo.
Right.
If you're gonna give a Final Fantasy rep, it's
gotta be
Cloud's
Cloud
choice, though.
Oh yeah.
Now, how would you feel if their Square Enix rep was not Geno or Sora?
I actually like a lot of Square games, so you'd be hard pressed to find a character that actually has a chance of taking that spot. That even if I'd be disappointed we didn't get Geno, I would probably still like the character. I love Chrono Trigger, so if Chrono got in, I'd be blown away, absolutely amazed.
What if it was a Black Mage from the first Final Fantasy or something?
Yeah, I mean, Black Mage or something would maybe be cool too. I wouldn't be mad at that. Neku from The World Ends With You. I love The World Ends With You. Just to get some of the music from that in Smash, I'd be happy about. So although like I'd be, again, disappointed Geno didn't get in, I would not hold any grudge against any like Square character that got in instead, because I generally like all the Square games. Like there's very few that I don't.
If Sora got in, you think they'd show other Disney characters? You think like we'd see them?
That's tough. I feel like they wouldn't. But there is like the Mickey Mouse like keychain on the end of Sora's Keyblade. And I don't know. I don't know what would happen with that. That's
because I think even you had mentioned this on one of your videos as Sora being one of the Square Enix reps, but when it comes to the copyrights, it's Disney who owns Sora, not Square Enix.
Yeah, it's like a joint ownership, but either way, you have to go through Disney.
Yeah,
like,
Disney owns him predominantly, but they still ask Nomura's permission. And like, as far as the Mickey head goes, they could it would be cool if they replaced it with the Smash Ball logo, but what would be really sick is if he had a Smash exclusive Keyblade.
That
would it was specific for Smash Bros. And it had the Smash Ball logo on the keychain.
I have not heard that. Maybe I just don't look into Sora for Smash enough, but I have not heard that, and that is a really, really good idea.
And it would be a great way to work around the Kingdom Key having the Mickey head on it. Like, it's just like, we'll just give him a new keychain, because when he goes to a different world, he gets a different Keyblade. And with him in the big crossover world, that would make sense.
You think they'd give him a different Keyblade for every level?
I don't think so.
Like Kirby hats, but for all the stages.
Gosh, dude.
Or all the series.
Over 70 Keyblades.
That means Kirby could be a Keyblade
wielder. It's true.
Actually, I thought it was a pretty cool idea. I was going to say anything. They actually did reveal that Greninja. They revealed his final smash was using Ash Greninja.
Ash Greninja,
and I was thinking, if Ash Greninja although it was in the main games, Ash Greninja is more of a character who's bonded with Ash, who is not present in Smash Bros. At all. So I thought to myself, they really missed out on the opportunity to call it Smash Greninja.
Oh,
like
that would have been cool.
A character with a bond to the Smash Bros. Game or something like that.
It'd be cool it would be cool if it opened up the door for Ash to be like a DLC costume for the Pokemon trainer.
That's what I was going to say.
That'd be cool.
I'm wondering who owns that. If the anime studio owns that at all, or if Nintendo owns it.
I think it's just Game Freak as a whole. Game Freak owns Pokemon, not Nintendo.
Yeah, but for the anime, do they Own the character like Ash and whatnot?
I think they do, because they have Jesse and James in Let's Go. They were in Pokemon Yellow, and they have Ash Greninja in the games, and I think in the original Red and Blue, you could name yourself, Red, or I think Ash. I think it was like Red, Satoshi, and Ash. I think Ash was one of the
Gary
choices.
Were defaults.
But were they defaults for only America? Was Satoshi a default in Japan? I don't know.
I think so, because isn't Satoshi...
That's his name in Japanese.
Isn't one of the creators of Pokemon, and the rival and
Tajiri, the guy who made it,
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure that has been in the game from the start, that name. So I don't know if the name alone is the same as having the character, but my guess would be Game Freaks does indeed own the rights to the anime characters.
Yeah, that would make things easier for them. But I keep forgetting all these things I'm going to say. We were talking about Shantae before. We were talking about Way Forward hinting at her a lot. Now, if Shantae was only an assist trophy, do you think it'd be kind of a dick move of Way Forward to kind of hint at all this? Or do you think people are looking into it too much and they're not actually hinting? I don't know.
I do want to get your opinion of it, Papa. Be honest. Be honest.
Yeah.
That's tough to say. I mean, I guess I got to put myself in Way Forward's shoes. So think about it this way, you're an independent game company. I mean, Shantae's been around for a long time. It was 2002, I think, or something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So she's been around for a long time, very close with Nintendo and stuff, but you're still, an indie game studio. You're still making games that aren't, they're not as popular and famous as Mario and Zelda and stuff, obviously. So just getting the character in Smash at all, like just being able to rub shoulders and be like, yeah, our character is in there. It's in that game. And you can look at lots of other, there's a good chance Smash comes out and like, there's no Resident Evil character, there's no Mortal Kombat character. Like, there's going to be big games that just aren't in Smash. So to be able to be like, yes, our character got into Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is a pretty big honor. So, is it like a dick move of them to, like hint at her because that means the fans are going to take it as playable? If she's not, I don't know. I feel like as a game developer, I'd be pretty proud of that. So I could see them hinting just because of that, or being, excited just because of that.
Even as just an assist trophy?
Yeah. I could see it happening. I would hope, if they're going to hint as heavily as they have, that, it's because she's going to be playable. That's obviously what the fans want. But, if I put myself in the shoes of a game developer, someone who worked on her games, I would be so happy she's in Smash in any way, even if it was like a trophy like Rayman got in Smash 4. I think she'd be more than that. But, even if it was that little bit, I'd be so happy my character is sitting in that game alongside all those other games and all those other characters. I could see myself hinting at it just because I'm that excited.
Yacht Club Games didn't really do that with Shovel Knight.
That's true.
I don't know. But
that is true.
Again,
they did.
Then again, they're not Way Forward.
Yeah.
But also, Way Forward, they in that jammies mode. I didn't even know this until you pointed this out, Alpha, in your recent video. That in her jammies mode, the free update, when she kills enemies, they fly off the screen, and that doesn't happen in any other mode.
Oh wow! That's interesting.
Is it just the mode, or is it the game? I think the game, the deaths are like that.
Oh, are they?
In Half Genie Hero, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure.
I misunderstood that. Then I don't know.
Which that's the thing.
Have to watch your video. Is it? So I may have seen it floating around. Does it have like the long-necked Executor in like the thumbnail picture?
Yeah, it's got like a collage behind her. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I totally saw your video floating around. And I will definitely watch it now.
Okay,
really
thank
cool.
you.
I didn't know it was yours.
Dude, Artsy Omni left a comment on my video. I was like, what? I was just like, yo. Of course, he was saying this is really reaching. There's not really any evidence for. I'm like, I respect your opinion, but like, and it's cool that you're here, but you just totally chewed me out. But it was cool to have someone that big comment on my video. But
he commented on one of mine too. I was really excited about that too.
This is cool.
I remember years ago looking at the Rayman leak and being like, oh man, Rayman's getting in, and then like the whole thing happened. I didn't think I'd ever talk to the guy, and I've talked to him a couple times now, or at least commented back. Mm-hmm. So it's just cool. I love the internet.
Commented on any of my stuff.
Someday, dude.
There's still time.
Yeah. But you make a really good point, Papa, about them being excited, and like I would, and like as a recent Shantae fan. And just jumping on the bandwagon, I as a fan and as a gamer, I would hope that they wouldn't do that. Like, I can understand being excited, but I don't want them to, it's like, yeah, would they be excited enough do they think the fans would be excited with them? And like, I can see them still doing that because of her being an assist trophy. I would, as popular as she was on the ballot, and one thing I noticed in Jamie's mode was that, why would they focus on a costume that was highly popular during the Smash ballot? That was one of the alts that they made for her. Why wouldn't it be just some random mode they just made up, like some random transformation mode or something? Why'd it have to be specifically for jammies? So, like, it just little things that line up. It's like, I don't know if they would go to all this effort, like making a whole new game mode to tease her as an assist trophy. Rodon was teased in Bayonetta 2's update back in February. I said March of the video, but I think it was February. But that was just a letter. That was just a little thing of text.
It was a small thing. There's a lot of things to Shantae.
Yeah, this is a whole game mode. This is references that may have been in there since the very beginning of the game. Like, people have pointed out that, well, maybe they're just big Smash fans. If that's the case, why haven't there been explosion flashes in every single Shantae game? So it's just... I'm like telling myself all this just to try and like she has a chance. But
I think she has a chance.
Oh yeah.
Oh, she definitely has a chance.
Definitely.
Yeah.
There's like a piece of like hype responsibly, responsibility on their end, for the fans to not overhype if it's not going to be like a playable Shantae.
Do you think they're doing
I
this?
guess it's just a matter of, are they hyping, or are they hinting for the fans, or are they hinting for themselves because they're excited about it? So I feel like it could go either way. But it's a good argument to say like that. Yeah, it'd be pretty irresponsible of them to hype this much and have her, not be playable.
Not playable. Yeah.
Do you think?
And
there's
it is
some
interesting.
What? No, go ahead.
It is interesting they haven't talked about, like, people will ask them about, could Shantae be in Skullgirls? Could Shantae be in Rivals of Aether? Could she be in Brawlhalla? Could she be in Blade Strangers and stuff? And they're like, we don't have any news at this moment. We'll let you guys know as soon as possible. And they say nothing about Smash.
Yep.
Nothing.
Yeah.
It's just...
Yeah, I mean, that's an NDA right there, like, definitely. But again, like, I feel like she's going to be in the game in some form. It's just, the real question is an assist trophy? Is it playable? Is it DLC?
But would her being an assist trophy cause her not to be a fighter in other games? Because you see Shovel Knight being in other games as fighters. In fighting
I don't
games.
think
Well, that's
anything
every
would
game,
stop her
it
from being in
seems.
other games.
Yeah, so that's why it's like, why is this NDA stopping her from being in other games, and it didn't for Shovel Knight?
Mhm.
Yeah, unless there is more of a contract for playable. Though I don't think
That's what
Nintendo
people
would.
are thinking.
Yeah, I don't think Nintendo would even get like exclusive rights to her though. So, because like Rayman's in
Brawlhalla, yeah.
But we don't know if
Brawlhalla.
Rayman's going to be in.
Brawlhalla.
And
Yeah, I mean we don't know if Rayman's in the game or not, but I really don't think
But
that
they
like
did that with
harms
K.
him,
Rool.
so-
They did that with K. Rool.
did what?
Exclusivity, yeah.
Yeah.
Another
because-
developer wanted to make a game with him in there. It was Tropical Freeze. They originally wanted
Yeah.
him as the villain, but they were like, no, you can't do that. And they didn't know why. And now it's because Sakurai claimed
Yeah.
dibs on him.
They
So
revealed it
Maybe.
afterwards to them.
I mean, maybe it's Sakurai claimed dibs on, or maybe Nintendo just didn't want him in Tropical Freeze for whatever reason.
True.
Or they
But
had
I
made
think
the-
it was actually confirmed by somebody on Smashboards that was the reason that
Oh,
Sakurai
really?
wanted to be the one to actually
Bring him back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it would have been
Okay,
as impactful for him being in
Yeah.
Smash if he was already in Tropical
Tropical
Freeze. Good
Freeze, yeah.
point.
If
Yeah.
if he
Yeah.
was in Tropical Freeze, I think people would be like, "Oh, yeah, he's relevant now, so he could be in Smash." So it would
Right,
not
it's more
have
of a
been as
surprise if it
impactful.
wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, where Shantae's different though, because like she could be in any of those side indie game fighters or something like that, and I don't think it would necessarily take away the impact of having her in Smash.
Yeah.
But who knows what
I don't
Sakurai
know.
thinks?
Yeah, I really don't know. But I'm also wondering if there's some kind of evil strategy where WayForward's doing all this promotion knowing she's not in the game, so that when she's revealed to not be, all the fans are up in arms and
Oh man,
Pushing for her to be DLC.
yeah.
that's some psychological tactics
Warfare.
right there. But yeah, maybe. I
Hope
mean,
not, but
And it's interesting if that is the case that there's an NDA. Maybe Sakurai, it isn't about, him being like, I'm the only one who deserves Shantae. It could be that, every developer is going to have their different opinion of what Shantae's moveset would be. I mean, look at Shovel Knight with Brawlhalla being different from Blade Strangers, being different from Rivals of Aether. Every
Yep.
game has some different. So I feel like if he wanted, for her to have a unique moveset in a fighting game, he would want to have the only one, maybe, so he's not like, well, they think I'm stealing an idea from them, or they're stealing an idea from me or something, like,
yeah.
maybe
She
just
wants
like,
to be the first one to decide her moveset.
yeah, because
Yeah.
she has a huge moveset to ascertain.
It
Because
could
Yeah, she isn't-
also be WayForward being the ones who want her first fighting game to be Smash.
true.
That's true too. It doesn't necessarily have to be Sakurai. WayForward could be denying or just turning down any offers because they have something bigger in their pocket,
Mhm. It's just, I don't know, there's just so many hints that I don't think they're reaching. Maybe some of them could be, but there's quite a few that I don't think are reaching. I think
They
they're
stack
pretty
up.
legit.
They stack
yeah.
up more than most characters.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
Yeah. And I would say, I will admit, and people have pointed out in my video that some of my stuff is reaching. Obviously, the whole, K-Rool and Ridley are both villainous pirates, and Shantae fights Risky Boots, who's a villainous pirate. Stuff like that is very reaching.
Mhm.
But I feel like their silence, Jamie's mode, and her lack of any representation in indie fighting games, and just recently,
those are the big ones.
Papa, huh?
Those are the big ones.
Yeah, and just recently, Papa, something interesting people have noted is that one of Zelda's victory animations has her twirling around, and then she has a lick of fire on her finger with her hand on her hip, and that's exactly how Shantae is posed in Risky's Revenge.
They've done that before too, actually. Zero
Ike
Suit
and
Samus,
Cloud.
one of their end game. I think when you beat like the one-player game, is like her posing in front of the moon or something. It's very similar to Bayonetta, and we now kind of have suspicion that Bayonetta may not have been quite the ballot choice she was said to be. Mm-hmm. So that might actually be a hint at a character. Also, another thing that Shantae does pretty neat if she was in the game is that if like Dixie Kong is an Echo Fighter of like Diddy, maybe they'll do like a Crom where she has like one or two other moves from some other fighter. I could see if Shantae is, just a normal character, you pull some hair attack moves and you share them between the two characters, or at least the general animation, style of that. It is just easier on a developer just from that perspective if you have characters that, have similar animations and similar movements and stuff. So
and people have noticed not Bandana D, King DDD and King K. Rool share some animations like I think their neutral air and their down smash or something like that. Or his down smash kind of looks like Charizard. So very good point. It's kind of just a move reskin.
You think that's done on purpose?
It's not quite like an Echo Fighter thing where, they're just reskinning a fighter. But, just think about it. You're a game programmer. You got, 70-something characters to program. It's a lot easier if you have some, base templates for characters, or you have, there's a very similar animation. I'm just going to start with that and tweak it a little bit, So,
which, when you think about how many moves for each character there is, and multiply that by 70.
But I'm also curious why they would even bother giving Zelda Shantae's pose as a victory. Are they going to share it between the two of them, or are they gonna drop it from Zelda and give it to Shantae? What's the reasoning in even giving her that pose? Is it an homage?
They might share it, maybe. Yeah.
I mean, once again, with Zero Suit Samus beating the one-player mode and posing in front of the moon, if you download Bayonetta, that still happens, So possibly, maybe we're looking at a DLC situation here, because that's kind of what happened with Zero Suit Samus and Bayonetta. Zero Suit Samus had that pose, and then we got Bayonetta as DLC. So maybe Zelda has a Shantae pose, and down the road, Shantae's planned. Nintendo has the rights; they're going to do it. It's just not base game. Could happen, and so that's a hint.
Mm-hmm.
There was the actress posting about her doing voice work.
Mm-hmm.
Christina V.
Her actress Christina V has done a lot of posting lately. She just posted one October 10th, and it's weird. I pointed this out to Drew. She posted back in September saying, "I wrapped on this game," and she was in a recording studio, and she had short hair. This was in September, mind you. October 10th rolls around, she posts a picture of her in a black dress and a very long ponytail down to almost her waist, and says, "Anyone wish for a half genie?" How would she grow her hair that much in less than a month?
Unless it's so big.
Yeah, very true. It could be extensions or something. But the way she's teasing Shantae and stuff, and it could be extensions, but it could be an older picture of a recording room. That would explain the hair.
Why would she post it so recently? Unless maybe she was not allowed to post it in the past, and maybe now she is.
Maybe.
Or potentially, like you said, it's hair extensions or a wig or something. And I mean, I know voice actors like to get in character, and obviously the long hair is a big part of Shantae's character. So
there was also in the on the post she did for the tweet that she did for the recording, there was something with the muscle, making a muscle with the arms.
Muscle emojis. Yep.
Okay.
And a lot of people think it has something to do with fighting. And somebody had pointing out that it could be a Hunter x Hunter thing because she voices a character in Hunter x Hunter. But I don't know much about Hunter x Hunter. So.
Yeah, I know nothing about that.
Yeah, me neither.
I did hear that the voice actress for Medusa has also been really for that. Which once again could be, maybe Medusa's a boss in the game. Maybe Medusa's an assist trophy in the game. She might just be excited to be a part of Smash. And anyway, kind of the same way I'm saying with Way Forward and the hints, it might just be you're excited to be part of such a big game in any form. But it's also possible Medusa is like an Echo Fighter of Palutena. A lot of people have said that And Palutena had like an especially large amount of custom moves, and custom moves don't appear to be returning, so it's possible Medusa will get in just to give those custom moves to, a spot somewhere. I don't know if they still consider that an Echo Fighter or what, but it's just interesting. Just an interesting character that's kind of floating around.
And it wouldn't be wasting all those old moves that they can't use anymore. So, good point.
Right, yeah, exactly. You could salvage them.
Well, is there anything else you want to talk about Smash before we talk more Smash with the fan questions?
I'm good.
Okay, well, so let's go with some fan questions, and as always, if you'd like to ask a question to us, you could use the hashtag GGGaming. And last week I said VIP, I meant to say MVP, but I suppose Elam Omni Alpha is also a VIP. But he actually asked a question, but he provided us 5 different theories that he had and asked us a question about them, so I'm just going to go ahead and read them. He says, since Sakurai confirmed that Daisy, Chrom, and Dark Samus were chosen due to high ballot placement, I've been forming a few theories on how it could happen and what the consequences could mean, and wanted to know which you think might be the most accurate. Number 1. All the fan polls are wrong for one important reason. You could vote as many times as you wanted in the real thing, not just for your number 1. This would mean even if characters like Daisy aren't really many people's number 1 choice, if she's still on their list, she would get a lot of votes, especially if it's from people with different number 1s. Number 2, Sakurai isn't actually using the ballot, just saying that he is, potentially like with Bayonetta, most simple, but still possible. Number 3, there are slots for Ultimate, and Sakurai is filling slots he wants with characters fans want, so no matter how low Chrom and Daisy actually were, they were still the highest placing for the spot Sakurai wanted to fill, new Mario and new Fire Emblem characters. Number 4, the ballot is only being used for Nintendo characters. He only confirmed that Daisy, Chrom, Dark Samus, Ridley, and K. Rool came from it, not Simon or Richter or even Inkling or Isabelle. Removing all third parties from fan polls heavily matches the fighters and one assist trophy. We've already seen with the only commonly occurring omissions from the game being Isaac and Bandana D worldwide and Lip in the Japanese polls. And then number 5, my previous sequential IP theory that Sakurai is adding characters based on what the ballot shows fans want represented, not who. Characters that don't contribute anything are ignored or made assist trophies. And then he says, or if you guys have any other ideas as to explain why Daisy and Chrom aren't in fan polls. A couple of these, I wasn't exactly sure what he was talking about, but a couple of them I did. And I think there's something that I might have mentioned with Alpha in a past episode, and if not, it could be something I've mentioned somewhere, but I do think that there's a lot of merit, maybe, to the fact that, these Smash ballot, the official Smash ballot that people voted for, versus the fan ones that people have been polling online, they're pretty different in the fact that, not everybody who voted in the Smash ballots is voting on those things. I didn't vote on any unofficial ones. I didn't even know about it. So my vote's not in there. And how many other people didn't get their votes in these unofficial fan ballots? So what do you guys think of that?
You go ahead,
I mean,
Papa.
I totally agree with that. I do think the online fan polls are just that. They're online fan poll mock-ups of the people who participated in that poll, not the people who participated in the Smash ballot necessarily, or the full, amount. I think they're probably a decent idea of at least who maybe the more hardcore fan base is voting for. Though, to be honest, I didn't vote in any of those online fan polls either.
Yeah.
I don't know who is voting in those necessarily, even though some of them seem to have a lot of votes. So at least it's a large sample size. But that said, I do think just the Smash ballot overall is probably a guideline for Sakurai at best. I don't think he's necessarily picking 1 through 10, and that's who's getting in.
Yeah.
So even if Chrom is number 38, they said maybe that's still the number 1 Fire Emblem character. Maybe Sakurai was still hoping to put Chrom in the game and is happy to see that he wasn't number 138. Cool, people still want him. I planned to put him in the last game. Yeah, looks like I'm going to do him because the Smash ballot. So I don't think it's like a 1-to-1, who's getting in is entirely the Smash ballot. I think it's still Sakurai's choice. It's still probably, whatever merit and whatever characters or spots Sakurai's thinking of putting in. And he is probably just using the Smash ballot as a guideline. That's my guess.
Yeah, I believe that. I'm in agreement with that, is what I meant to say.
Because obviously I don't think Daisy and Chrom and Dark Samus and even Inkling and Isabelle were probably, well, Inkling may have been top 10. I'm pretty sure they would have been, but they were just popular characters. Like, I don't think a lot of people voted for Isabelle or Shadow or any of those guys because they were already assist trophies. Very true.
Yeah, I agree with that too. There's some characters like Ridley who are, extremely popular, but probably didn't do especially well, or at least not as well as they should have done in the Smash ballot because Ridley was on Pyrosphere, or like you said, Shadow was an assist trophy. But I think Sakurai is more aware of, Sakurai's human. Like, he's not just going to look at data and add them to the game. Like, he's aware of which characters have been popular for a while.
I don't doubt that Sakurai has gone across the internet and done his research during Smash 4 and since then, like, okay, which characters do I need to add this game and which characters need to come later as DLC? Because there may have been time constraints. He might not have been able to get Banjo-Kazooie, Sora, Shantae, Isaac, Geno, anybody else for the base game, but he might be able to get them for DLC. And the demand and popularity that has continued, like, I'm shocked Shantae's hasn't fallen off like it has. Geno's still super big. Isaac, Banjo-Kazooie, they're just characters that people want and have wanted since the Smash ballot and way before that, especially with Banjo and Geno since pretty much Melee. And I do think he's done his research. I'm done.
Okay. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I wanted to add to that that with that said, with the Smash ballots around the time of the DLC, a lot of people probably had in mind what they wanted for DLC for Smash 4. And Sakurai, I'm sure in his mind, he was already planning the next Smash game. So for him to get the rights to use maybe like Banjo-Kazooie or something big for the final DLC character could have been not necessarily a waste of money, but something he might have wanted to debut in a new game on a new system, like the Switch.
Right.
So it wouldn't have been as impactful back then, just like with King K. Rool. So
it would be like, I'm sure Banjo and Kazooie will be shoehorned in because everyone is here, and he was at DLC. So it kind of takes away from the hype. And not just Banjo-Kazooie, but other characters like Geno and so Bayonetta was kind of like the easiest to put in while still also being high. And I suppose Cloud was a big one, but he also, I don't know, like,
and he's friends with Nomura, so that makes sense.
Yeah, I feel like that theory that I just said doesn't fit in line with the fact that Cloud was added in.
Sakurai also did say at some point, he said something about Cloud being like, that there was a lot of requests for Final Fantasy something in Smash, and Cloud is sort of just a culmination of all of those votes. So if you look at it that way, as just, every vote for Cloud and every vote for, potentially even just every vote for a Square character meant, okay, we got to go to Square. Square, who would you put in Smash? You'd put Cloud in? Okay, that might be like every Chrono, every Geno, every Sora, every, Chocobo, every Black Mage turned out to get us Cloud,
Well, that makes me wonder why he didn't put Geno in, because he himself wanted to put Geno in.
It might have been Square. Honestly, that's kind of my thoughts. And he may have also done the same thing with, like, why we're saying, like, Bayonetta got in and not King K. Rool. It might have just been easier to do, like, a humanoid character like Cloud and save a character with a more, crazy out there moveset, like what Geno would probably have, like what King K. Rool has, what Inkling has for the next game. Spend more time on them and do them justice.
And like Geno would be one of the ultimate picks. I mean, we've got two of those characters so far in Ridley and K. Rool, so it would make sense for him to save the big three for the ultimate game and not release one of them early. But hey, here's Geno. Next game we got Ridley and King K. Rool. So to unleash all three in the fury that is Smash Ultimate at one time, that would make sense too.
But to counter that, they still put in Cloud towards the end of the DLC cycle.
True.
That's what's messing this up for me.
Maybe he was like the one big knockout punch to end off Smash.
I mean, you got to spread it around.
Yeah.
You got to spread it around. It's kind of like, if we got an E3 and instead of like Inkling, Ridley, and Daisy, we got Daisy, Richter, and Isabel. Like, you got to put something big at the beginning. You got to put something. You got to spread it around. Same with putting somebody big like Cloud at the end of Smash 4. And that's not to say anything bad about Richter, Isabel, and Daisy.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they just aren't as like
They're as hype.
as
Yeah.
Ridley and King K. Rool and all those. So yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Although Isabel is adorable, I'm so happy she's in. But
Yeah.
Yeah,
you know,
I really like Isabel being in too.
my first impression was, oh man, because I was thinking of characters who could have gotten in aside from her. But then after really then after really seeing how she played slightly differently from Villager, and seeing the way she acted in the game, I started getting, not necessarily right away, but over time, I started getting more and more excited about her, because there were certain aspects about Villager that I did not prefer to use, that I suppose I want to use in Isabel, such as, for example, the planting the tree and using the axe. I don't want something as complicated in my character sometimes, and the fact that Isabel's is simply just putting the gyroid in the ground and it's shooting up, I think is a lot simpler. So there's certain aspects about Isabel as a character that I'm more excited now than I was in the past to use.
And I know we mentioned this last time, not Papa, Drew, and to mention it to you, Papa, it's that Villager and Isabel are more different than just, they're completely different characters. Yeah. It's almost like Isabel is, like she is in the games, a pacifist compared to Villager. I mean, he's sitting here swinging an axe around, and she's sitting here using stop signs and confetti and balloons and all that stuff. She's not actually fighting. She's just throwing stuff up to do the job for her. Mm-hmm. So it's cool how they incorporated that, where Villager is literally attacking you with an axe and chopping a tree down on you. She's just like, oh, party favor in your face. So it's cool how they incorporated her personality into different moves and made her worthy of being a second slot from Animal Crossing. So that's just my 2 cents. Okay.
Sakurai does a very good job of getting a character's personality across. Oh, yeah. So I'm always
gives me hope for Shantae, but
I also want to say that I'm not hating on Villager and his down special.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just saying I'm excited for something different like what Isabel has.
Mm-hmm. He is very technical. I love Villager, but he's a little complicated.
The only times I really dabble with technical characters is if I really love said character. Like Mega Man, for example, I made a point to learn him in the beginning. Whereas, the first time I played him, I had no idea what I was doing. And now I have an idea of how he works a lot better.
Cool.
Mega Man's cool.
While we're talking about characters we love, I am interested, Papa, what you think not like every up tilt, up smash and all that, but what do you think Geno's base kit would be?
Good question.
Smash.
I've seen a bunch of people do mock-ups of things, and I mean, he doesn't have a ton of special. I mean, he has a good amount of cool moves, but he doesn't have a ton of special moves for Mario RPG. So usually when I see a mock-up of Geno's moveset, I almost always agree with it. Mm-hmm. But he uses Geno Whirl, he uses Geno Flash, he turns into the cannon. You got to do all the shooting his hands off, using the gun in his elbow, using the gun for a hand, and all that stuff. I mean, it's pretty typical. Just the moveset I generally see all over the internet in one form or another. I just kind of agree with that. Just give him the moves from Mario RPG. If I had to guess how he'd play, specific play style, the way I picture him in my head is being kind of a glass cannon projectile user, very powerful, dies quick though, very light, and then having a lot of projectiles, and possibly having the timed hits thing being his gimmick. I think that'd be cool.
That would be cool. And I knew Geno Blast and Whirl and all that were it would be interesting to use his specials in that game as his special moves. And I didn't know he had a gun in his elbow. That would be a killer back air. He throws his elbow out.
In the game, he raises his arm up, and I always thought the bullets were coming out of his elbow. So
he's such a cool character.
Is there any specific moves that you're hoping that he has that you want to use if he's in the game?
Okay, if there's something that I like would really like to see, it's honestly Mallow incorporated into his moves somehow, kind of like Toad with Peach. I'd be fine with Mallow being like an assist trophy or in his victory animation or part of his final smash or something. But I think it would be really cool. There was like some talk about him and Mallow being like a duo character, and I actually almost like that better than Geno alone. Because one of my biggest reasons for wanting Geno has always been just to get Mario RPG like acknowledged again, back in with Mario and stuff. And so yeah, if we can get both Geno and Mallow like in there, I'd be happy with that.
That'd be cool.
You know, it would be neat if you can switch between Geno and Mallow if they were a duo.
Like one's in behind, one's in front, almost like Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong did in the Donkey Kong Country series.
Imagine Ice Climbers where they play maybe slightly differently, except you can switch between them.
Yeah, that would be really cool. I don't know if that would fit like the timed hits feels like it fits the character really well. And I know Sakurai is always looking to, get the feel from that game right. So I don't know if making him a duo character would fit that, but there is a fan part of me that just thinks that would be cool. So
do you think they really do have templates, so to speak, where they kind of build a character based on another character that already exists?
Yeah, I'd probably say so. I mean, I feel like, you can't go from 0 to 100, so they probably have some sort of base. And, if the character's going to be like, say, as tall as Mario, they might just plop down the Mario files and start tweaking things from there. I would imagine that's how they do it.
Yeah, because I'm wondering if Geno would then be based similarly in body structure-wise to someone like Mega Man or maybe even Mario.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, Sakurai said something about me Gunner fitting Geno pretty well. So maybe that too. I don't know.
Yeah, but the thing is, Gunner is going to be in the game. However, when you were customizing the moves for the Mii characters, they did have like 3 different types of moves to choose from.
True.
So he can always use one set of moves, whereas Gunner could use another. I'm really curious how he's going to make the Mii fighters work for like tournament use.
Yeah, I hope he streamlines them.
Tournament and online playable. So
yeah, but I'm wondering if you'll be able to choose from 3 different move sets, or if they're going to have one specific moveset.
I think they did confirm customs for Mii fighters, but it may only be like you said. Mii Sword Fighter has 3 different versions. Mii Gunner has 3 different versions, and all those are actually balanced instead of being like, I can just choose the best ones of each of these customs and make this kind of broken character.
I do think there would be unlimited customization in terms of using one of your Miis.
Yes, yeah, but they may also just let them be playable, like say online, without doing that, just as the base, Mii Fighter template, and you choose a move set.
Yeah, I feel like if they took out the height and weight aspect that like makes them faster or slower and lighter or heavier, I feel like if they took that out, it would complicate things a lot less. You could still customize it with the moveset, but they'd all be the same height, because in the trailer they were all the same height. I mean, which could just be like, hey, look, they're all the standard same size, but it could also be hinting at, hey, we took that aspect out, so I guess we'll just have to wait.
They could just make it so just the face is custom, is based on you.
True.
That's my guess, just because of the way the bodies look now.
Yeah.
They don't look as changeable as they did in Smash 4, as close to like a Mii. They have a very it looks like that's the body, and you just put the head on. So
especially because they put detail into their clothing now. So yeah,
right.
It's not just like a red shirt and gloves. It's like it's got like brackets and stuff on the gloves and stuff. So it looks like a cool costume now.
It'd be hard to stretch that or make that bigger and heavier and yeah. So I'm feeling the same way. I don't think we're gonna have that element of customization for them.
Unless you choose from 8 different costumes plus whatever head you want.
For that.
And the different costumes might have different body types. I don't know. But it's also possible there will be no customization. I feel like the Mii fighters are now kind of like what Rob once was in terms of a one-off kind of thing, and they're not really used much anymore. They're kind of like a legacy at this point to what the Wii, the Wii U, and 3DS used.
Yeah, I mean, there are Mii's in the Switch, but it's kind of buried.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, in terms of that question, was there anything else you want to discuss about those theories?
If
you remember them, I think we kind of covered them.
It was just all the ballot stuff, right? I think I pretty much went over what
yeah. The only other thing was the user Cole N asked where the Goku and Mario promotion stuff was, which I kind of answered before from that commercial. And I don't think we have any other questions, but I did have something I wanted to ask you based on a question we got last week. I don't want to spend too much time if you guys are running out of time, but we got a question, Alpha and I, last week about if we were to make our own Smash game that wasn't video game related, what would it be? And so Alpha did Disney, and we went through like a Smash 64 Disney roster, and then I did one for Jump, like Shonen Jump, and we made one for that. Is there anything that you would love to see as a new Smash Bros. Game, or a new Smash Bros.-esque game for something that's not video game related?
Yes, actually, I made a mock-up roster many years ago.
Really?
For like Nickelodeon characters, specifically like 90s Nickelodeon stuff.
Ooh, I like this.
Yeah, it was. So I did like, I took the Melee rosters. This is how long ago this was. This was like, back before, I think I was anticipating Brawl. And I just did some cool, I don't know how well versed you guys are in like old school Nickelodeon. But like I am
pretty much, yeah.
I made some like pretty cool. I tried to do like, for each character that was in Melee, I tried to find what would the Nickelodeon character be. So like Game & Watch was Stickly. I had Kirby as Face from like Nick Jr. Mario and Luigi were Keenan and Kel. This is just off the top of my head. I don't remember what they were. Link and Young Link were Pete and Young Pete from The Adventures of Pete and Pete. It was pretty cool. Like I'll have to try to find the picture. I'm forgetting all of them.
Cat Dog is the Ice Climbers.
Ice Climbers was Ren and Stimpy, I think.
Oh, okay.
We were always together. Yeah.
Who was SpongeBob?
SpongeBob. He might have been Fox, and Falco might have been Patrick. No, I think Fox was Doug, and Falco was Skeeter. Doug and Skeeter.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay.
Because they're like the colors kind of fit. SpongeBob was definitely on there. I don't remember who he was, but yeah, I don't know. That was a thing.
But what about if you were doing an N64 roster that wasn't based on the characters that existed, but you could just choose 8 characters to represent the 90s plus 4 secret unlockable characters? So you don't necessarily need a character like Mario or a character like Luigi, but just like the 12, 8 already there and 4 unlockable.
Of like 90s Nick characters?
Yeah, 90s Nick, yeah.
I would imagine they would be cartoons.
I'd have to sit down and think about it. I feel like if I have to go over like, just the core ones, I really have to think about who, because I don't want to cut somebody out.
Or maybe like Nick as a whole.
Yeah, I mean,
Danny Phantom.
Yeah, I'd really have to think about what's the most important ones and how do you fit that in. Like I think Ness was Timmy Turner. I think Yoshi was Zim, just because green.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember what I did for the Melee one, but what I would put in for just like an N64 roster, that'd be tough because there's certain ones that like, they worked really well as the equivalency of that character. But if I had to make like, who's the most important, I'd have to sit down and think about it for like an hour and make sure I do it right.
Yeah, we kind of talked about it and tried to figure out the question. And like we figured out our answer on the spot. But I'd have to. There's so much in Nickelodeon it's not fresh in my mind. I'd have to think about it. Okay. Well, I think that's pretty much it. Was there anything else you guys wanted to talk about before we wrap this up?
I'm good.
You good?
Yeah, I think I'm pretty good. Yeah, I can't think of anything else.
Alrighty. So yeah, that's pretty much it for today then. So either of you, who do I want to say first? PapaGenos. Yeah, I was going to, but PapaGeno, where can they find you?
You can find me on just the YouTube channel PapaGenos. You can go on my Twitter. It's @GenosPapa. For some reason, Twitter didn't let me get PapaGenos. I don't know if somebody else has it or what, but it's @GenosPapa. Yeah, there's some other places you can find me. I'm over on like Smashboards, also as PapaGenos. I just made a Discord. Actually, just anything important for me is linked in my About section to my YouTube channel. So that's like my main hub for my stuff. So if you go over to PapaGenos YouTube channel, you can just go in the About section. You can probably find the rest of the places if there's any way you want to talk to me or anything like that.
Okay, and I'll be adding them in the description. And
Cool.
Alpha, as always, where can they find you?
I'm on YouTube as Alpha Stoutland, and you can also find me on Twitter and my Discord. Same name.
All right, and for me, the usual, you can find me. I'm usually Diamond Death or Drew Maru or DrewMaru_comics. It varies depending on which meeting we're looking at. Again, links will be in the description. And I think I'm going to start in this episode saying that if any of you come and click the follow thing for my comic Spirit Legends in the Tapas app, I will give you a shout out in our episode if that means anything to you. So go and like my comic, please. All right, guys, I think that's about it. As always, if you want to ask any questions to us, you can do so with the hashtag GGGaming, either on YouTube or on Twitter. And it seems nobody's using the Twitter for it. So whoever wants to be the first one, you will be our MVP for that. And that's it. As always, take care, guys. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Later, bye, everybody. My fear is that like Ubisoft gets a character, and instead of Rayman, we get the rabbits. That's
That'd be
probably
like
my.
That was an
nightmare
awful
scenario.
impression.